of hope, dreams and all the possibilities. It ain't rocket surgery, but maybe it is. Come on down, we're gonna sit around. We're gonna get into your business. Get into your business. Get into your business.
Welcome to the Small Business Miracles Podcast. My name is Jeff Randolph. This small business podcast is brought to you by EAG Advertising and Marketing. We are here to talk about marketing. We are here to celebrate entrepreneurs. Theo, are we ready to go today?
Yes.
You got this under control?
Yeah, we're locked in.
Hey, that's all we could ever ask for. And you're like, what are you excited about today? What's going on with you?
Oh, it's just another great day to be in the presence of the Jeff Randolph.
You know, this is not why this is not the banter that we do. This is not, no, we don't need this at all. We do have someone in the studio, though, and I'm excited.
We have someone other
her.
Than Jeff in studio, yes.
Which we always do, because otherwise it's just me rambling, and literally nobody wants to hear that. So today, let's bring her into the show. Marielena Marroquin, you are founder and CEO of Cultura Consultants KC, and also, can I just say, like, best hype person ever? Like, you light up the room when you walk in. You're a magnificent presence to have around. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff. Every time I hear you talk, I'm like, man, he has a powerful voice. And as a person who has also shared a stage with you and has been able to use voice near you, I'm like, man, I could listen to Jeff talk all day. So I would have been fine with a little bit more banter.
None of this is about me. None of this is about me. It is all about you.
Awesome.
But
thanks for having me.
We actually did that. We both did TED Talks, and I opened for you.
You got the crowd ready for me.
I got the crowd riled up so that they could hear your TED Talk. We'll get into the TED Talk. First, let's talk about Cultura Consultants KC, because what is it you'd say you do here? Tell us about the company.
Yeah, so I'm a small firm. Right now we have 1.5 person. I think that's a new development since last we spoke.
Just legs or torso? Which just split down the middle?
Actually just brains. That's all I really need.
All right.
No, I actually was able to hire my first person, Tracy Wells. She is an amazing human being, and she is my admin assistant. And honestly, she's like my brain living outside of my body. So as far as what we do, I kind of started out of rage, right? That's a really good way to start anything. But I kind of felt that I didn't fit into spaces. I had a great heart for the entrepreneur spaces. I grew up in the entrepreneur spaces. But I grew up really thinking about how can I help other people? And so my company kind of started out of this, like, I don't really fit in anywhere. I've always been a little bit of a rebel or a renegade, whatever you want to call me. And so I was kind of sitting there right after graduating with my master's degree, and I'm like, I'm going to start my own company. No business plan, no marketing plan, and 6 months of savings.
Just a declarative statement. I am going to start my own company.
And then I kind of, what am I good at, right? I've been working in the nonprofit space for, at that point, about 15 years. And that kind of feels crazy to say that I've been doing anything for 15 years. Oh, yeah. But I've been working in the nonprofit space, and I was like, there needs to be people talking about cultural strategy when it comes to the nonprofit space. There needs to be people who are talking about public policy and how it affects the work that we can as nonprofits do and can't do and shouldn't do. And I really didn't see a lot of my peers and other consultants doing that. And after asking around for some advice from amazing consultants in the area, they're like, actually, I think that you have a niche and you could probably do this. So first it was rage, and then it was like, wait, I'm actually putting my savings, I'm actually betting on myself, which is the story that a lot of entrepreneurs do. And I bet on myself every day. And I win every day. So sometimes I lose, but most of the time I'm up.
Let's talk about the wins. Well, we can focus there. Actually, there could be some good lessons learned from the losses. So
100%.
We can get into that too.
100%.
But anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you do.
So I think first of all, I help people tell stories. I help create narrative, right? At the end of the day, story is important because stories tell truth. Right. And so I help people create narrative. Most of the work that I'm doing is one-on-one coaching. How do we use different tools for that? Most of the tools that we're using is social media. And I wouldn't tell you that I'm the best social media. I don't even think that I'm good at social media. I just happen to be young-ish, right? And have an eye for understanding these things, right? Like I didn't grow up with a cell phone in my hand But you guys do have a classic Macintosh outside,
Yes,
and that
we do.
doesn't look like super ancient to me, right? Like I grew up understanding technology. So, and then the other thing is I believe people should be civically engaged, right? And how do we find creative ways to do that? Not just voting, right? Not just understanding our tax bill, and not just property tax, but also sales tax. I also help people use stories and help people understand their own ability to change their own narrative, right? So one of the ways that I do that is through leading a very successful Latina book club, right? And that's part of the programming that I use within my company. It's one of those things where I'm like, I love doing this. And how can I have other avenues for sharing stories and being able to be a custodian of stories?
Yeah, and so when are you the hero for a client? Who like and maybe it's best to kind of define that target audience. Who do you serve best?
Yeah. It's really interesting because I've been in business for 2 years now, and I think that that's constantly evolving for me, right? Because some of the work that I do is kind of nebulous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking of my 3 clients that I have, and they're all very different, right? And they all have very different needs, but at the end of the day, we're using story, we're using narrative, and we're making sure that we're leaving the world a little bit better than we found it. Right? They're all doing those 3 things in very different ways, and I get to, help them do that. One of my clients, she's actually an artist.
Okay.
Clarissa Knighton.
Good shout out.
She's an amazing sculptural artist. And most of what I do is help her share her story. Right? She has an amazing story to tell. She's an amazing artist. She just needs kind of a push. So I'm able to coach people to do that. Then I have another one of my clients who is a philanthropic organization in Kansas City. And they're ceding power back to people. They're changing up what it looks like to be a funder in Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
And I get to teach their gifting team how to be successful at the work that they're doing. Their task is to give money back into community that's making social impact and social change. I get to share with them like the history of philanthropy. That's where I nerd out. I get to teach people like, hey, this is why like giving looks so weird. This is why people don't have power in philanthropy. And this is why, trust-based philanthropy is important. But we need to go a step further, right? So I get to share with people the history of philanthropy, right? Talk about, I don't know if I could say this here, but I'm going to say it if you want to cut it out.
No.
Why rich white dudes give people to other rich white dudes to do work, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I was hoping that kind of brought the Cultura part of it in there because I do identify as a white dude.
Oh, you do?
I don't identify as rich. I do identify as white dude. Theo knows.
You're rich in culture, though.
Theo knows.
Yeah. Good one, Jeff.
That's why he's good at this job. It's those kind of insertions that are just like, boom, nailed it.
Right. So we know that there's a history of families who have been historically the philanthropy families, right? And we also know that when nonprofit organizations are led by people of color, they tend to have better outcomes, right? So it could be surmised that they're better stewards of the money that's given to them in order to do more public good, more private good, right? So this organization is putting together a group of common people, right, who are in the community, who have lived experience in community, and saying, where do you think the money should be going? And I get to be in those rooms. I get to facilitate those conversations, and in a very small way, I'm helping to change the narrative of what philanthropy and giving looks like, not just in Kansas City, but hopefully a footprint for the nation.
Yeah, that's not nothing. Like that's for real. That is a tall lift. Or a heavy lift, tall order, and it is great to have your voice doing that. Let's keep on the Cultura part of it for a second, though, because you threw out just kind of casually the Latina Book Club for a minute, and give us more. Tell us what that's all about, because you're using that as a way to bring some awareness and to dive deeper. But it's gotten kind of big. Tell me more.
Yeah. So Cultura kind of started with this line from I know that you've heard me talk about Bad Bunny a lot.
Once or twice, yes.
Yeah. I love him, like absolutely love him. He's one of my personal heroes. And so I rewatch his halftime show about 3 times a week. So
you were again on social media,
Yeah.
tremendously authentic when you show up.
Oh
on
my
social
gosh,
media.
thank you.
And one of the things that I just saw you post recently was that you were watching the behind the scenes of the making of the halftime show with Bad Bunny.
in tears.
And you were in tears, like authentic,
Tears.
just the joy it brings to you. Anyway, sorry.
Tears.
Continue. Yes.
So there is a line in one of his songs where he goes, "Le falta sazón, batería y reggaeton." So we need a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of drums, and some reggaeton. And that's where Cultura came from, is that I'm seeing more and more leaders like myself be in these spaces and less people catering to them. So Cultura Consultants is my spin on Le falta sazón, batería y reggaeton. Because leaders are going to start looking more and more like me. They have been looking more and more like me. And culturally, we have a different way of showing up. And we have just as much ability and just as much importance in being in leadership positions, right? I've been afforded so many really cool activities, so many cool positions throughout the city to serve. And I wish there would have been a blueprint for me. And I had great mentors, right? But it's sometimes still isolating, right? The fact that I'm the first Spanish-speaking Latina to serve in the Johnson County Parks and Rec District in the year of our Lord 2026 is astounding, right?
Yeah.
So Cultura Consultants started from that. The KC Latina Book Club started from, wait, if I feel this way and I like reading books and I'm Latina, there's other Latinas in Kansas City. I looked at my friend on her porch in December of 2025. I said, let's start a book club. 2 months later, we've had 14 girls show up. We all read the book. We're all professionals in our own right. So there's like a primed space for, hey, I don't know how to navigate this. Hey, I'm really struggling having this conversation with my parents because I'm the first person in my family to do X, Y, or Z. What do you think? So yeah, we read the book, and that's the main reason. But selfishly, I'm practicing my facilitation skills.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm also hanging out with really amazing women who I would trust with my entire life.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so building community for me is at the center of everything that I do.
Oh, it is a great use of book club as well. And even from a storytelling standpoint, it is difficult for a rich white old dude to connect and to speak authentically to that audience. And so if you can help people reach that audience, if you can help people navigate that and do it better than, say, a rich old white dude, you're the right person for the job.
Yeah,
Nicely
my
done.
listserv is 67 women, right? And this is just something that, I haven't really spent that much money on. It kind of like, my friend owns a bookstore. I love supporting Latino-owned coffee shops in Kansas City. Let's just go there. We've gotten so big that we can't actually go to coffee shops anymore. We actually ended up having our home at No Divide KC.
Okay.
Down in is it the West Bottoms or the East Bottoms?
West Bottom.
The West Bottoms.
Thank you, Theo.
See, you could...
He's not the best in the business for nothing, folks. I'm telling you.
Listen, there's times where I remember that I'm not originally from Kansas City, and it's sometimes where I can't tell which part of the bottoms
Yes.
I'm in.
Yes.
So,
It's all the West.
okay. So, yeah, and so having a primed audience for those conversations, right? And I think that unfortunately, book clubs have this negative connotation. I don't know the amount of times that I've spoken to a man. They're like, so what do you do? Because I'm like, how do I explain to somebody in 5 minutes or less in a soundbite? Like, I help people tell stories and I shift narratives for like social impact and change. through public policy.
And that you're using these books for educational purposes, for cultural connection,
Correct.
and for education and some facilitation kind
Right.
of things as well. And meanwhile, somebody could come up and go, "Oh, so you just drink wine at a book club? Is that what you do?"
The amount of times that I have had these men with the audacity in their full chest ask me how many times we've read the books and how many bottles of wine. I would like to let everybody know, sometimes we have cocktails, but we never have a full bottle of wine on a Sunday afternoon.
And on behalf of all men, I'll apologize. I am qualified to speak for all men.
Oh, thank you.
And I will apologize for all of us.
I greatly accept your apology for all men. That doesn't mean I trust them.
None taken. Let me move on to the TED Talk, because I did famously open for you, so that the crowd was warmed up and ready to go. Your talk, like, it's on your website. So we'll throw links out and that kind of thing, and you can do a shout out at the end of this thing. But it's on your website as hey, here's our founder and her TED Talk. Tell me about the talk.
So
Tell Theo about the talk. I've heard it more than once.
yeah, I think your feedback was one of the most balmy ones. Ooh. Because I think my friends obviously love me and they're going to be like, everything you do is cool. And sometimes, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes I'm like, can I really trust these people to give me honest feedback? And some of my girlfriends will, right? When I'm out of line. But there was a lot of emotion and feeling behind my TED Talk. The topic of my TED Talk, it's titled Yo Soy Boricua, Breaking Colonization's Final Hold. And one of the beta testing, A/B testing was assimilation as a tool for colonization. That's what I wanted to originally name this talk. Mm-hmm. And I think that it had too many big words that people just really don't know. And so I don't know if you remember this time where it's like people were on their devices and they're like, "Thank you for coming to my TED Talk."
Yes.
And something that you should know about me is that I'm audacious and I'm a little bit delusional and I believe in myself a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I think I want to do a TED Talk. And then a friend of mine did a TED Talk earlier last year. And I go, I could do a TED Talk.
If you could do a TED Talk, I could do a TED Talk.
If Jeff could do a TED Talk, you can do a TED Talk.
That's right.
If I could do a TED Talk, you could do a TED Talk. And so then I actually got a coach. Right. And I know that that's something that people are like, oh, that's, cost a lot of money. And yeah, it did. Yeah. It cost a lot of money. But this is a dream that I had and I didn't know where to start. And so I was able to work with my coach and she kind of walked me through what should my TED Talk be? Because I could talk on 20,000 different topics.
Right, yes.
Right? I could talk about leading a successful book club. I could talk about shifting narratives, seeding power. These are things that I could talk about. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, she's like, what is one thing that you're most passionate about no matter what? And I go, Puerto Rican sovereignty. And that's not very cool.
It's not as popular.
No.
It's tremendously important. And the things that are tremendously important don't always get the visibility. And you brought that.
Yeah, thank you. And so I also wanted to honor my heritage and honor my grandparents. Mm-hmm. So she goes, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So she kind of gave me these writing prompts. And then at one point, she kind of just stepped back and let me do the magic. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know at that time that my grandfather would no longer be with us. Oh. My grandfather passed away in January of 2026.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
And I delivered a talk on what it means to grow up in the diaspora. My grandfather and my grandmother made a very deliberate choice to move to New Jersey in '83. And that changed the course of their lives. That changed the course of my mother's life and therefore my life and the way that I was raised. And I was definitely raised with being very Latina, being very proud of being Puerto Riqueña, but also some things that we didn't talk about. Even the fact that I talk about Puerto Rican sovereignty with a lot of my family, they're like, oh, you're crazy. We need to be the 51st state. Yeah. And I knew as I was giving this talk that this was on the heels of Bad Bunny giving the halftime show, which was mind you, I'd been writing my TED Talk for 18 months before I even knew Bad Bunny was going to do this.
Wow.
So, so in September, October, he gets announced, and I'm like, wait, this timeline is eerily crazy. Is this going to, like, am I going to audition this literally the day after
Yeah.
the
Super Bowl
halftime show?
show.
And so, I think that for me, it was being able to talk about something that I'm, one, wildly passionate about, but two, also connects my personal and professional work, right?
Yeah.
Like public policy. And I talk about 3 specific laws that affect, that have been enacted by Congress to affect Puerto Ricans' ability for self-determination. And I can anyway, that's the nucleus of my TED Talk. Go listen to it.
Go listen. Definitely go listen. Do go listen. It's on the website.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the laws, again, visibility and importance don't always, go hand in hand. And we don't always, get exposed to the things that are truly important that we didn't learn in history class that, man, we should have. Yeah. And I do remember my feedback immediately afterwards, because we all went around and gave critique of all of the other TED speakers in our rehearsal. And the feedback I had immediately was something along the lines of, hey, I learned a lot, and I'm not comfortable with anything I learned.
Yeah.
And that was, it is absolutely powerful. And if you don't go take a look at this TED Talk immediately after listening to this fine show, you really are missing out. So
Jeff.
Everyone, go, do listen.
And anyone can give a TEDx talk. I think like that's one thing where it's like, it doesn't, I think for me, the idea behind TEDx is like to explore ideas, right?
Ideas worth sharing.
Yeah. And I think we all have important ideas. Like, yeah, you and I have cool ideas, and you're thank you for warming up the crowd. Then I had like,
it's the least I could do. It's the least I could do.
And then I'm like, go think about your laws and your constitution and call your congressman.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm over here just going,
satanic panic.
D&D's cool. Do you know what a satanic panic is? And then you get up and talked about Puerto Rican sovereignty, and sure. Some ideas are more important than others. So
anyway, I think
done.
everyone who has a dream of doing a TEDx should do it, because it's not that hard. If we can do it, Jeff and Marielena can do it. Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. Anyone can do it. Are you ready to get into a lightning round? Do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's do lightning round.
Let's get into a lightning round. There are no rules in the lightning round. You have no way to know what kind of thing we might talk about.
Oh my gosh, I'm kind of nervous, honestly, but also super excited.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
If you had dinner with Bad Bunny, I can see the expression on your face right now. What would that look like? Would you totally fangirl out? Would there be deep conversation? Would you freeze? What would it look like if you actually had dinner with Bad Bunny?
So people have been asking me to send my TED Talk, because I sing one of his songs in the TED Talk.
Yeah, you do.
I said one of his songs in the TED Talk, and I might imagine this maybe at least once a month.
I imagine a dinner with Bad Bunny once a month.
And I've been really cool under pressure, and I've met famous people before, right? Like, part of my work is talking to politicians. Part of my work is talking to people who have influence and power. And I think I'd just be like I would have to like play it super cool, because I wouldn't want to make like a mockery of myself. But I also know that he's like super quirky and like plays with Toy Story toys. Aww. So I think that like we would just be in really good company. And at first it would be like,
You'd panic a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I'd be like, this isn't real.
After you realized it was real life.
Yeah, I think I would try to like talk to him about his interests. Like, I mean, we're both creative people. I think that at the end of the day, he's famously talked about how like he just wants us to be seen as a person. And I think that at the end of the day, we all just want to be seen as people. So it's like a part of me is like, I have this hope that he's a very personable man, and I could just be like, I'm really awkward, and I pretend to be cool. So can we like just like be awkward together?
Yeah.
So
you have a billion volunteer things that you do, and you're all, like, I don't know how you have all of the energy.
Neither do
for
I.
That. How do you choose which of those things gets your time, being as valuable as time is? How do you determine which things you're going to volunteer for, or participate in, or serve on a board, or how do you do that?
So I'm actually rolling off of a lot of boards, and I've been noticing that I have to say no a little bit more often than not. But for example, one of the things that I've done consistently for 6 years, actually the only thing that's been consistent in my life for 6 years, is El Centro. And El Centro is a local organization in Kansas City that serves the Latino population. It serves to advocate, to empower economically, and to educate the Latino community. It's been around since 1976. We celebrate our 50th year anniversary in October. And I think at the end of the day, the most important thing when you choose to be on a board is this something that I can support if no one knew I did it?
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If no one knew you did it, if you had to be Spider-Man or Batman and do this, that's like the best litmus test for that. Another litmus test for me is like, if someone appoints me, I'm going to take it seriously. And see what this looks like, and why someone thought that I'd be important to be in the room. But for me, it's like, one, am I passionate? Would I be okay to take zero credit for it?
Yeah.
Right? And is it going to better my community?
I really like that litmus test. That's a really good. There's a lot of wisdom there. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I volunteer a lot, so I've had to take this litmus test a lot.
I've put this to the test many a time. This is the Small Business Miracles podcast. We when we define like a small business miracle, historically it's been kind of like the somebody is about to go to a trade show last minute, and the trade show booth didn't arrive. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Right? Those kinds of like, looks like somebody needs another small business miracle. A lot of times we also define that as kind of the, man, I don't know how we're going to pull this off, but if we pull it off, it's going to be a miracle. In your own business, in your own experience, do you have that kind of small business miracle moment that comes to mind where it's like, man, I didn't know how we were going to do that, but I sure pulled that off?
Yeah, when you sent me, so I think for me as an entrepreneur that gets to work with a lot of different people and gets to work with a lot of different organizations, for me it's the fact that I haven't quit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's not a big miracle, right? Like they say 18 months, right? 18 months is that like we're doing this for a little over 2 years. The amount of times that I've wanted to quit, and it's me, right? Like my assistant will tell me every day, she's like, you're the rainmaker. Like if you aren't healthy, if you aren't doing all the things, like none of us get to do this, right? Yeah. And hopefully that changes soon, right? Because I'm sure Michelle had those moments when it was Michelle.
Yeah.
But I think that the smallest miracle is that I haven't quit on myself. And every day I'm like, you know what? I took a bet, 6 months of savings, and me and my dog, and we haven't shut the doors.
Outstanding. I think you'll find that to be very common in the entrepreneur mindset of, I'm doing this and I'm sticking to it, and every day I'm going to make that same choice. And sometimes that's not an easy choice to make. But people are relying on you, and you've done that just hiring of a half a person.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a huge deal. And congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What restaurant, I have to throw a food question in because I love that. What restaurant in Kansas City should more people be eating at that aren't eating at that restaurant right now?
Gosh, this is not fair.
I know you can ramble off several of them if you need
Gosh,
to. But
okay,
where would you tell people,
So
hey, you need to go here more?
I actually have this happy hour that I do with one of my girlfriends. Her name is Crystal Martinez, and she and I do a no invite, like no one's invited, no partners, no other girlfriends. It's just me and her. And we go to a different restaurant that either of us haven't tried before.
Nice, good.
So it's really, it limits like our ability, because it's like we try really hard for like both of us to not have gone to it. So I've been like going to different restaurants. So I think 00
Okay, yeah.
is a good one. It's super small and reservation only. But I think like people kind of know about that. I think that this didn't limit it to fine dining or
No.
So
Whatever you like.
El Pulgarcito in Miriam. It is
Okay.
a pupuseria. If you know, you know. And man, I love like a good happy hour. So, okay, I used to love Brown and Low.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good one for happy hour as well. But yeah, I'm always just going to be like, let's just go for some tacos. Or, you know, I wish there were a Puerto Rican restaurant in town.
Mm-hmm. There
There is not. There is a Puerto Rican caterer in town. Buen provecho. Natty plug. I got you, Chris and May. But I think that as far as that, I mean, any tacos, we're known as like the taco like spot outside of like Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So I like if I limit them to 3, because this was really hard.
I get it. I understand.
I would say 0, 0.
Okay.
10 out of 10. Totally would recommend. El Pulgarcito, because I absolutely love pupusas. I'll just leave it at 2.
Leave it at 2? Got it.
Leave it at 2.
Nicely done. And last one. Do you have that teacher or mentor who gave you some advice that like you remember to this day, you always keep in the back of your mind? It's just always there on speed dial.
Gosh. I think that if he knew that he were one of my mentors, he'd be like, "Girl, get better mentors."
Okay.
But my friend Edgar Palacios,
Oh yeah.
he said to me, "I'm made for comfort." I'm made for comfort, and I think that reminds me that like I have to work really hard, but I also have to rest equally as hard.
Oh, nice. That is good.
And
That
so-
is actually understated advice.
So
Nice. Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm sure there's other teachers along the way that have just, you know, kind of peppered me with you know, advice.
Mm-hmm.
But that one's the one that I'm just like, oh, I'm not made for this. You're right. You're made for comfort. So.
And rest just as
rest.
hard as you're working. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Work hard. What is it? Work hard, play harder.
Work hard, played harder. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
it. Hey, those are the lightning round
Yeah.
questions. That's it. That's right there. You've survived the lightning
Thank
round.
you.
There's nothing to
Nothing
it.
else.
I've asked you a ton of questions.
did.
You are allowed to ask me one.
Am I allowed to
That's
ask
it.
you one question?
If you had one question, it
Yeah.
could be about anything you like, whatever kind of thing in the world.
Well-
what do you got?
Jeff, you're a little bit more seasoned in life than I am.
I'm old, is what you're saying.
No,
yeah.
I didn't
no,
say
no,
it
no.
like
I get
that.
it. I heard old.
I'm sorry that that's what you heard. That's not what I said.
Got it.
I'm sorry that you felt that way.
I did no. It's not. Don't feel attacked at all. No, not at all.
No, but you're a little bit more seasoned in life, and you've had these interesting jobs, different kind of jobs. You're a little bit of an entrepreneur, right? You support small
We
business,
definitely work
nonprofit
with
organs,
small businesses,
right?
for sure,
Right. You're also an adjunct professor at
I
Avila,
am, yeah.
right? So. How do you manage all these different phases and job like obligations that you have? Being that you're not necessarily an entrepreneur, but you work in entrepreneurial spaces, and you're also teaching young people the craft, right? Like you're a marketing wizard, I think.
Sorcerer, more like. But yes, yeah.
Dungeon master.
There's a difference there. And so how do you do that?
How do you do
keep
it?
all that together? I think ADHD helps.
Facts.
That
Facts.
probably does help. But at the same time, I look back. I was having this conversation with my daughter not long ago, and kind of what you accidentally impart to a child, right? What you accidentally tell somebody just by your actions. And it occurred to me after that kind of conversation that she has never seen me with only one job, that I've always had more than one thing that I'm doing, and it's at minimum 2, sometimes it's 3. And I guess if you don't slow down, you don't know a difference. And so you just kind of keep that pace up. There's something to be said for having more than one iron in the fire anyway, because you then go, oh, so that's vacation money, or, whatever, right?
Right.
As a side gig or
Yeah.
just something like that, your side hustle or whatever that is. But I feel like once you slow down and you don't have that pace anymore, it would be more difficult to pick that up. And so it probably was just started as the thing you do out of necessity, and you just keep doing it. And you know, do I get a lot of utility back out of all of those things? Yes. Your same litmus test of would I do this even if I weren't getting the credit for it? And there are many of those things that I absolutely would do if I weren't getting the credit for it. For a very long time, I like this podcast, TED Talk, any of those kind of things are the exception to the rule, where I'm much more out front. And I'm, you know, the face of that thing. But for most of my career, I've been, in Wizard of Oz parlance, the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Some other CEO somewhere is the one getting the credit for it. And I don't mind that. I you know, let's help somebody do a great job or be seen. And it isn't until I think pretty recently even where I'm doing something like this where it's like, no, you're the host. And I go, oh, should I be the host, or shouldn't I, you know, like write scripts for somebody else to be the host or something? But I don't know. This may be the weird part of it, but it really is, I think, pace. And if you slow down, if ever I would retire, I don't think you'd retire.
Right.
I think you know, I can give a tour at a brewery. I can do all kinds of fun things. You know, there are a lot of different things you could do that would keep you busy, and I think my brain absolutely requires that. I don't strive for a lot of downtime, but I need it.
Yeah.
And so it's probably just something that gets scheduled.
Awesome.
Man, fascinating question.
Thank you.
It's getting deep.
When you asked me that I get to ask a question, I knew exactly what I was going to ask. Yeah.
That was...
Because I've always wanted to ask you that question.
Fascinating.
Because I remember our origin story.
Yeah.
Our origin story was like bizarre because we recognized each other.
Yes.
And I was like, I freaking know this guy.
Yeah, set the stage. We were at the one of the first TEDx rehearsals that we were doing for the TED Talk that we did. And we're like meeting the other participants. There were 6 of us total.
And even before that, I remembered your name and your face, right? Because we had already like seen each other because the materials were already out.
Exactly. And so we're staring at each other in this auditorium going, I know you. How do I know you? Because it's out of context.
Right.
It's not like, you know, well, we're at a marketing event or whatever. And you were at Swope Health.
I was.
At the time when
you
we
were
our
working
marketing
with
agency. Swope Health as the marketing agency. And this was during it's a mild little thing. The pandemic.
Global
we were
pandemic.
working with a safety net hospital during a pandemic, and that was huge. And
I was the community engagement director for that organization.
And so
I was 20, something.
Yeah, and
I was a child.
You were a child. I was 85, and we were like, we never saw each other in person.
Yeah.
We were always on a Zoom screen.
Yeah.
And because it was that time. And,
I love our origin story. And
it was crazy.
Yeah.
So then eventually figured it out, and we're like, that's it. So yeah.
And it just goes to the story of like, we're not used to being necessarily in the spotlight, right? Because like we weren't the managing partners of the conversation. We were just the people doing the working things during a very traumatic time in most of our lives.
Exactly, man. Man. Marielena Marroquin, thank you so much for being on the show. Can you tell everybody where they can find you? Where do they go? How do they connect with you? They want to get involved in the book club. They want to have you help tell a story.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So my name is Marielena Marroquin, and you can call me Marielena Marroquin if
Thank
it's
you
easier
for that. I appreciate that.
I can be found on Instagram at Cultura KC. That's the easiest way to link to my website, link to figuring out how to talk to me. I'm super responsive. If you want to give me a follow, a like, a share, I'm still trying to make that more natural. But yeah, Con Cultura KC on Instagram and culturakc.com. That's where I'm at.
All right. Marielena Marroquin, founder and CEO of Cultura Consultants KC. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. And that is our show. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Drop us a line on the website at eagadv.com if you have any thoughts. Until then, we'll be out here helping entrepreneurs with another small business miracle.
Talk about strategies and all the capabilities, building all your hopes, dreams, and all the possibilities. It ain't rocket surgery, but maybe it is. Come on down, we're gonna sit around, we're gonna get into